Have you ever found yourself feeling a little overlooked, like your wisdom, your experiences, your very presence aren't quite valued by your own children the way they once were? Perhaps conversations feel more like monologues where you're the one listening, or advice you offer is politely, or not so politely, dismissed. It can be a truly painful reality, can't it, to pour your heart and soul into raising your children, only to feel that as they've grown, a certain distance, a quiet indifference, or even a lack of respect has crept into your relationship. It's a feeling that can gnaw at you, leaving you wondering where the warmth and mutual appreciation went. You might find yourself constantly seeking their approval, or trying too hard to be helpful, only to feel pushed further away. But what if I told you there's a way to shift that dynamic, to gently but powerfully reclaim your space, and, yes, regain that deep, heartfelt respect from your children? It's not about demanding it, but about making some powerful, intentional moves that naturally draw it back to you. In this video, we're going to explore 5 powerful moves that can truly transform your relationships with your adult children, helping you foster deeper connections built on mutual respect and understanding. And make sure you watch right to the end, because there's something waiting for you that will truly surprise you. Let's dive right in with the first powerful move, which might seem a little counterintuitive at first. But trust me, it's incredibly effective reclaiming your independence and boundaries. You see, as parents, especially as our children become adults, we often fall into the trap of being perpetually available, the go-to problem solvers, the constant safety net. We love them fiercely, and our instinct is to always be there, to fix things, to provide. But sometimes, in our eagerness to help, we inadvertently rob them of the chance to truly stand on their own 2 feet. And in doing so, we might diminish our own standing in their eyes. Think about it if you're always swooping in to rescue them from every scrape, or if your life revolves solely around their needs and schedules. Where is the space for them to see you as a complete, vibrant individual with your own life, your own pursuits, your own boundaries? Reclaiming your independence means having your own life that doesn't solely revolve around your children. It means cultivating your own hobbies, your own friendships, your own interests. When your children see that you have a rich, fulfilling life outside of them, it changes their perception. You become someone to admire, someone who is complete and self-sufficient, rather than someone who might seem to be waiting for their call. It's about setting healthy boundaries, not out of resentment, but out of self-respect and a genuine desire for balance. This could mean saying no to a last-minute request if it conflicts with your own plans, or politely suggesting they figure something out for themselves if it's within their capability. It's not about being unhelpful, it's about empowering them. For instance, if your adult child always calls you to troubleshoot their minor household issues, instead of immediately rushing over, you might say, "You know, I'm actually tied up with something right now, but I bet you could find a good tutorial online, or maybe ask a friend." This gently nudges them towards self-reliance. Setting boundaries also means managing expectations. If you've always been the primary childcare provider or the family ATM, gradually and kindly adjust those roles if they're no longer serving you or fostering their independence. You might say, "I love spending time with the grandchildren, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are my days for my pottery class." Or, "I'm happy to help out when I can, but I also have my own financial goals I'm working towards." These aren't rejections, they're statements of your own value and your own needs. When you respect your own time and energy, your children are far more likely to respect it too. They begin to see you not just as a parent, but as an individual with your own life, your own commitments, and your own autonomy. This shift is crucial because it moves you from a position of constant giving, which can sometimes be taken for granted, to a position of mutual respect, where your contributions are seen as a choice, not an obligation. It's about showing them that you are valuable and complete in yourself, and that your love is a gift, not an endless resource to be exploited. This leads us beautifully into the second powerful move: active listening and non-judgmental communication. So often, when our children share something with us, especially if it's a problem, our first instinct is to jump in with advice, to offer solutions, or even to point out where they went wrong. After all, we have years of wisdom and experience. Right, we've been there, done that. But think about how that feels from their perspective, when they're trying to express themselves, and you immediately pivot to, "You should do this," or, "Well, if you had only done that." It can feel dismissive, as if their feelings aren't valid, or that you don't trust them to find their own way. It can shut down communication faster than anything. Active listening, on the other hand, is about truly hearing them, without interruption, without immediate judgment, and without formulating your response while they're still speaking. It's about giving them your full, undivided attention, making eye contact, and showing through your body language that you are truly engaged. When they've finished speaking, instead of launching into advice, try reflecting back what you heard. Something like, "It sounds like you're feeling really frustrated with that situation at work." Or, "So, if I'm understanding correctly, you're trying to decide between these two options." This shows them that you were listening, that you understood, and that their feelings matter. It creates a safe space for them to open up even more. The non-judgmental part is equally vital. It means biting your tongue when you want to say, "I told you so," or "That was a silly decision." Instead, approach their experiences with curiosity and empathy. You can ask open-ended questions like, "How did that make you feel?" Or, "What are you thinking of doing next?" This invites them to explore their own thoughts and feelings, and to come up with their own solutions, rather than simply accepting yours. When you offer advice, if you feel it's truly needed and they haven't asked for it directly, frame it as an option or a thought, rather than a directive. For example, "Have you considered trying X?" Or, "One thing that worked for me in a similar situation was Y." But of course, your situation is different. This shift in communication is profound. When your children feel truly heard and understood, without the pressure of judgment or immediate solutions, they feel respected. They're more likely to come to you not just for answers, but for connection, for a safe space to vent, or to brainstorm. They'll see you as a wise confidant rather than just a dispenser of directives. This builds a deeper, more mature level of trust and respect. They learn to value your input not because you demand it, but because you offer it with genuine care and respect for their autonomy. It's about moving from a parent-child dynamic of instruction to an adult-to-adult dynamic of mutual respect and genuine support. When they feel their thoughts and feelings are truly respected by you, they, in turn, offer that same respect back to you, often without even consciously realizing they're doing it. Now that we've explored the power of reclaiming your independence and the art of active, non-judgmental listening, let's move on to our third powerful move: leading by example, your own fulfillment. This builds directly on the idea of independence we just discussed, but it takes it a step further into actively demonstrating a vibrant, fulfilling life. You might think, "How does my pottery class or my book club help my children respect me?" But it does, profoundly. When your children see you pursuing your own passions, learning new things, engaging with the world, and genuinely enjoying your life, it sends a powerful message. It tells them that you are a person of substance, with interests and goals that extend beyond their lives. Consider the alternative if your life seems to revolve solely around your adult children, waiting for their calls, commenting on their social media, or constantly offering unsolicited help. It can inadvertently create a perception that you lack a life of your own, while your love for them is immense. That constant availability can sometimes be interpreted, perhaps unconsciously, as a lack of personal fulfillment. But when they see you light up talking about a new project you're working on, or hear about an interesting trip you've taken with friends, or notice you've learned a new skill. They begin to see you in a new light. You transition from just being mom or dad to being mom, the vibrant artist or dad, the adventurous traveler or grandparent, the keen gardener. This shift in identity, from their perspective, elevates you. It makes you someone interesting, someone to admire, someone who inspires. Leading by example also extends to how you handle challenges and navigate your own life choices. If they see you face setbacks with resilience, adapt to changes with grace, and pursue your own happiness with determination, it speaks volumes. You become a living embodiment of strength and wisdom, not just someone who dispenses advice, but someone who lives it. For instance, if you've always talked about learning a new language, and they see you actually doing it, diligently attending classes or practicing online, that action carries more weight than any lecture about perseverance. It shows them that learning and growth are lifelong pursuits, and that you are committed to living a full, rich existence. This doesn't mean you have to become a world traveler or start a new business. It simply means actively engaging with life in ways that bring you joy and purpose. It could be volunteering, taking up a new sport, joining a community group, or even just dedicating time to a deeply personal creative pursuit. When your children witness your genuine happiness and engagement with your own life, they inherently gain respect for you as an individual. They see you as a whole person, not just a historical figure from their childhood, but a dynamic, evolving being. This kind of respect is earned, not demanded. It flows naturally from your authenticity and your commitment to your own well-being and growth. It shifts the dynamic from one where they might feel responsible for your happiness to one where they see you as a source of inspiration and joy, someone whose presence in their lives is a wonderful bonus, not a dependency. This brings us to the fourth powerful move, offering support, not solutions. This ties in closely with active listening, but it focuses specifically on the kind of help you provide. As parents, our instinct is often to jump in and fix things for our children, especially when they're struggling. We want to smooth their path, prevent them from making mistakes, and alleviate their pain. But when we constantly step in with ready-made solutions, we can inadvertently undermine their sense of competence and independence. It sends a subtle message that we don't fully trust them to navigate their own challenges, or that they aren't capable of finding their own answers. Think about it from their perspective. If every time they bring up a problem, you immediately tell them what they should do, it can feel disempowering. They might start to feel like their own problem-solving abilities aren't valued, or that they're always expected to follow your blueprint. This can lead to resentment or a reluctance to share their struggles with you at all, because they anticipate the lecture or the immediate fix, rather than genuine understanding. Instead, practice offering support in a way that empowers them. This means being a sounding board, a supportive presence, rather than the immediate solution provider. When they share a challenge, instead of saying, "You need to do X," try, "That sounds really tough. What are you thinking about doing?" Or, "What options have you considered?" This approach encourages them to think critically, to explore their own ideas, and to take ownership of their challenges. You're still there for them, but you're shifting from being their savior to being their trusted guide and cheerleader. Sometimes, all they really need is to vent, to feel heard, or to talk through their thoughts aloud. In these moments, your best contribution is simply to listen and empathize. "I can only imagine how frustrating that must be." Or, "It's completely understandable that you feel that way." These simple phrases validate their feelings and show that you're on their side, without needing to jump into problem-solving mode. If they explicitly ask for advice, then, by all means, share your wisdom. But even then, frame it as a suggestion or an experience rather than a command. In a similar situation, I found that. Or, have you thought about exploring? The key here is to differentiate between supporting their process and taking over their problems. When you support them in finding their own solutions, even if they stumble along the way, you build their confidence and resilience, and when they succeed, they own that success, which further solidifies their self-respect and, in turn, their respect for you as a parent who trusts and empowers them. This approach demonstrates a profound level of respect for their adult capabilities. And that trust is often reciprocated with an even deeper level of respect for you and your role in their lives. It acknowledges that they are capable adults, and that you are there to offer a loving, guiding hand when needed, not to dictate their every move. Now, let's talk about our final, and perhaps most vulnerable, powerful move: embracing vulnerability and apology. This might sound counterintuitive when we're talking about gaining respect, as we often equate respect with strength and invincibility. But true strength, the kind that earns deep, lasting respect, often lies in our willingness to be genuinely human, to admit when we've made a mistake, and to express our feelings openly and honestly. As parents, we often feel immense pressure to be perfect, to always have the answers, to never show weakness. We might carry the weight of past decisions or interactions that, in hindsight, we wish we'd handled differently. This can create a barrier between us and our adult children, making genuine connection difficult. Embracing vulnerability means letting your children see your human side, not just your parental role. It means sharing your struggles, your fears, your hopes, in an age-appropriate way. Of course, when you share a challenge you're facing, or admit to feeling a certain emotion, it allows your children to see you as a complex, relatable person, not just an idealized figure. This fosters empathy and can strengthen your bond. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a new technology, instead of pretending you understand it perfectly, you might say, "You know, this new gadget is really challenging me. I'm feeling a bit out of my depth." This honesty can open a door for them to offer help, creating a natural opportunity for connection and for them to feel valued in a new way. Perhaps even more powerful is the ability to offer a genuine apology. We've all made mistakes as parents. We've said things we regret, acted out of frustration, or made decisions that, with the benefit of hindsight, weren't ideal. Holding on to the idea that we must always be right, or that apologizing somehow diminishes our authority, is a barrier to true respect. A sincere apology. "I'm truly sorry for how I handled that situation when you were younger. I wish I had understood more." Or, "I apologize if I've made you feel unsupported lately. That wasn't my intention." Can be incredibly healing. It shows humility, self-awareness, and a deep respect for their feelings and experiences. It validates their past hurts and acknowledges your shared humanity. An apology isn't about groveling. It's about acknowledging impact and showing a willingness to grow. It opens the door for forgiveness, deeper understanding, and a more honest, adult relationship when you have the courage to say, "I was wrong," or "I could have done that better." You are demonstrating a profound strength of character. This kind of vulnerability, far from diminishing your respect, actually elevates it. Your children see you as a secure, mature individual who isn't afraid to examine yourself and take responsibility. This creates a safe space for them to be vulnerable with you in return, fostering a cycle of mutual respect and genuine connection. It shows them that your relationship is built on honesty and growth, not on a facade of perfection. So, we've covered 5 powerful moves that can truly transform your relationships with your adult children and help you gain that deep, heartfelt respect you yearn for. We started by looking at the importance of reclaiming your own independence and setting healthy boundaries, showing them you have a rich, fulfilling life of your own. Then, we explored the incredible power of active listening and communicating without judgment. creating a safe space for your children to be truly heard and understood. We talked about leading by example, demonstrating your own fulfillment and growth, inspiring them through your vibrant engagement with life. We then discussed offering support, not always solutions, empowering them to find their own way and build their own confidence. And finally, we embraced the profound strength found in vulnerability and the healing power of a genuine apology, fostering deeper, more authentic connections built on mutual trust and understanding. Remember, this isn't about demanding respect. It's about making subtle, intentional shifts in your approach and in your own life that naturally draw respect back to you. These aren't quick fixes, but powerful, long-term strategies that cultivate healthier, more loving, and profoundly respectful relationships. It's about being the best version of yourself, living a life that inspires, and communicating with genuine love and empathy. It takes patience, consistency, and a willingness to look inward, but the rewards are immeasurable, a deeper, richer bond with the children you cherish. Your insights are so valuable. I'd love to hear your experiences. Have you tried any of these moves? What challenges have you faced? Or what successes have you celebrated in your relationships with your adult children? Please share your thoughts and wisdom in the comments below. Your stories could truly help others in our community. If you found this video helpful and uplifting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We're here to share more practical tips and encouragement to help you live your best life at every age, fostering amazing relationships and embracing every season with joy and purpose. Thank you for spending this time with me. Live your best life at every age.